And a very good evening, everyone. Rich DeMarco on the balcony of the FEN Center here at West Point, overlooking historic Michie Stadium, as we come to you for our annual Army Lacrosse Coaches Show. Joined by the Noto family head coach for Army Women's Lacrosse, Michelle Tumolo. Also, men's lacrosse coach Joe Alberici joining us a little bit later on as we preview the two biggest games of the season. On Saturday, it'll be Army and Navy. The women's game at 2:30 right here at Michie Stadium. The men's game down in Annapolis at 7 o'clock. And we begin with Michelle Tumolo, who has brought some historic marks to Army this year. Ranked wins in the rankings for this team in just your second year as head coach. Michelle, first of all, thanks for joining us. Did this last year. I know we've been looking forward to it for a long time, and welcome here as we talk about your team.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
So, Army-Navy, let's just start off with that's the game you point to. Your team hasn't been deterred, though, looking past any opponent so far this year. How excited are you this week for a great opportunity coming up on Saturday and a chance for 2 years in a row to win the star over the midshipmen?
Yeah, I think anyone that knows this rivalry knows that it's excitement, it's nerves in a way. We just want it so bad, but it's an intensity too. You know, we've trained all year to play great in this game. We've played against great opponents, and you know, we train hard every single day to win moments like this. But we love the excitement around it, and we just can't wait to get out there on Saturday.
You made the Patriot League tournament 1 year ago. So much progress you made during the 2022 season. Heading into 23, did you come up with goals with your team? What were you looking at, how you were going to build on the success of 1 year ago?
Yeah, obviously last season is amazing, and we like to talk about it. We don't like to obviously dwell in it, you know, our losses or how we ended the season, obviously against Navy. But it's a new year, new team, Team 8 in year 2023 with new goals, you know, and one was to be ranked, and we achieved that goal. We beat 2 ranked teams in the beginning of the season, and you know, we're 12-2. Obviously, the 2 losses still hurt, you know, and it just motivates us to play better and want to continue our season into May. You know, more of the goals are winning a Patriot League championship, going to the NCAA tournament, and certain stat goals, you know, that we want to get to. But obviously, beating Navy 2 years in a row is the top of that list.
And the Mid's number 23 in the country. You mentioned 2 losses this year. They've both been to ranked teams. You also have 2 ranked victories here in 23. And one thing I noticed, and you mentioned Team 8, as you came up to join us, I noticed the patch on your shoulder. Army Lacrosse Be Great 23 and 08. And at least for me and those following this program, that's just a great reminder of still the relative infancy of this program, the things you guys are accomplishing. Yeah,
we're really lucky that obviously before this became a varsity sport, that all the women that paved the way, you know, on Buffalo Soldier Field and all the, you know, the club athletes that played lacrosse, you know, those really are the women that paved the way for us. And obviously the Noto family, we're so lucky to have them in our corner that started this program 8 years ago. And as young as we are, you know, we're still playing like as if we can go win a national championship. So we're just excited to be able to play Navy for my second time in a row for the star match and just take it to them.
Army-Navy, 2:30 on Saturday right here at Michie Stadium. Tickets on sale, 877-TIX-ARMY or go ArmyWestPoint.com. So the big one coming up Saturday, let's talk about this season. So you begin the year, second game of the season, number 19 Jacksonville, and your program had never won a game over a ranked team. What was that experience like, and accomplishing what is, you know, I'm sure something that, you know, this program will always remember, first victory over a ranked team?
Yeah, it was amazing. But coming into the game, we always believe that we can do things like that. You know, we talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you're not going to believe it. And if you don't walk the walk, you know, then you're not going to do it as well. So we practice hard as if we're going to beat a team, no matter the ranking and number next to it. But Jacksonville was just excitement. You know, we got to get on a plane and go down to sunny Florida, nice and warm, have some team bonding moments, and then get on the field. And we knew that the date of that game and that trip would be circled on our memories forever if it was a win next to it. So we just went into that game with full confidence, great game plan, and we executed through the whole game. And it was an amazing experience.
You mentioned execution, and really defense has been such a hallmark, especially, you know, early in the season. Lacey Bartholomew, 16 saves, 19 saves, however they calculated for that game. Just how much does the performance of a goalie, a goaltender, energize a team when you know you're being backed up in that way?
Yeah, you know, they're the anchor in that defense. But truly, when our goalie's playing well, our defense is playing well. Our last game obviously kind of dipped a little bit in that regard, but we're motivated to come back, and one game doesn't define a whole season. So Lacey's been great. Lindsay Serafini has been getting in there. She's played an amazing job. But yeah, I've just constantly been putting pressure on our defense, because when we make stops, it gives our opportunity for our offense to score more goals and have more opportunity on the offensive end. So we have a great veteran defense back there, and I'm just really proud of their maturity of how they handle things, and they go into each practice wanting to get better. So, I just ran off the field, getting on sprinting on off the field after I dressed the team, and just always raising the level of intensity, because we know it's on Saturday. That's going to be an intense one.
Now we're with Michelle Tumolo, the Noto family head coach of women's lacrosse here at Army West Point. And Michelle, your accomplished lacrosse career, I see you getting out there sometimes and practicing.
Gotta show them how it's done.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel old, my knees.
That makes you feel young, too.
No, it does. It does. I'm really lucky to be so immersed still in the game with playing and stuff. Obviously, my career kind of has ended, but I'm still playing sports, trying to stay in shape. Play hockey here with in the men's league down over in Hollister Center. So, I've had such a historic career, but it's only because of the teammates that I've had and the coaches I had. So I'm just really lucky to be able to run around with them and show them how it's done. Sometimes they need a little reminder,
We'd like to thank everyone watching on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. If you have any questions, drop them into the comments portion on Facebook Live, and Ryan Pani, who's off camera tonight, will handle those questions. And Ryan's trying to get you on the softball team, I think.
Oh,
right?
that's last year. So I was on there, I try to play every sport here, Can't let one go.
Yeah, it's great. It's just a great way to be a great example.
I try.
Right. So game number two, the win over Jacksonville, number 19 in the country. Fast forward to game 4, Rutgers, top 10 team in the snow. Folks were watching throughout. I was up at Holy Cross for the men's basketball game, tuned in. That, you talk about the moment you're going to remember in the win over Jacksonville, the conditions and the quality of team here at Mikey, that was special against Rutgers.
Yeah, we knew the tougher team was going to win, and we knew that was going to be us for sure. But no, I respect Melissa Lehman over at Rutgers, great coach, and they had a great season last year. But new season, new opportunity, and we were feeling the high after Jacksonville and our other games. And we knew that no matter the weather, come out here, play hard, and do the little things well. And we did that. We capitalized on their mistakes and put the ball in the back of the net when we had it. So really proud of our defense, keeping them under 5 goals that they had, and we scored 10. So it was awesome to beat them by 5. It was awesome.
Jumped out to that 5-0 lead. That was not shocking, but that's kind of putting someone on their heels when they're a top 10 team. They're suddenly down 5-0.
Yeah, we knew we needed to keep that lead and just stay steady. We played well the whole game, and the factors did not bother us whatsoever.
Michelle, you're so charismatic and energetic.
Thank you.
The connection with your fans, how important is that to you? And I know as a player, it was important, but as a head coach in a different role, and having that connection and just being someone that fans can gravitate to, relate to, and root for.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I just want to be like a mentor to little girls that maybe have a dream of playing on the U.S. team or any college or anything like that, because my story is a little different than others. I didn't start playing until later. My talent didn't have lacrosse, and then it bloomed, and so many lacrosse players have came out of the area, and I just like to be myself, be authentic. I'm very open about who I am, and my relationship with my wife, and just being part of the LGBTQ plus community, and just being totally me. And sometimes I'm fiery, sometimes I'm goofy, sometimes I'm it's just who I am. And if I can relate to 1 or 2 people that maybe has big dreams, then I'm doing my job. So I appreciate that.
They often say that teams take the personality of their leader, their coach. Is that what do you want a team that's loose?
Of course.
Something that
of course.
They need to do,
feel
when you read the room?
Yeah, when if I see them dancing or laughing, they have a tough schedule down the hill, so when I see them kind of letting loose a little bit, I'm like, oh, thank goodness they can have fun. So yeah, I think there's always time and place for fun and goofiness, but also a time of intensity and putting the cleats in the ground.
Bridget Duffy. Well, let's talk about the season
Special
she's had,
human,
right? Leading Patriot League in goals, among the top 10, Wharton Award watch list. What has it meant for you to see her growth and progression on this team?
Yeah, it's special. She's a special kind of player in person, someone who's able to play on the soccer team as well and do great wonders for them. But she comes from a family of, great athletics, her mom and dad, and she's one of 10 kids. So she had a whole team to play with her whole life, basically. But no, she's just awesome. She just knows what it takes to be great and to be at the next level. And the best thing is she's so young and still learning. So it's her roof is so high. She has no the limit is the sky. So just really excited that she's on our sideline and playing for us and in the Army uniform, because she's going to be breaking records left and right.
Army women's lacrosse 12-2 on the season, heading into the big rivalry game against Navy on Saturday, right here at Michie Stadium at 2:30. Face-off tickets on sale, 877-TIX Army and GoArmyWestPoint.com. You're 12-2 on the year, and Bridget Duffy taken the women's lacrosse world by storm. How has she adjusted, and has it been an evolution and maybe an opportunity challenge for her now being zeroed in on when you're playing an opponent opposed to maybe a little earlier in the year?
Yeah, she's getting everyone's hard marks, but that's what you want as a great player. You're only going to get better from that, and it's a compliment, truly. Coach Dowd and I are both offensive players, and in our careers we've been face guarded, and we usually have the best players on us, so we know what it takes to raise that bar for that player. And Coach Dowd's done a great job with our offense, and she has the mindset. She has the right mindset, and she knows what it takes. So I'm not worried about her taking on, the best defenders on the opposing team.
Two other plebes, and you talked about your freshman goalie, but Lindsay Serafine as well as Allison Riley and what they've brought to this program this season.
Yeah, if you don't know much about the sport, it's really nice to have a lefty on your offensive end. So Allie Riley is a lefty. We're very happy to see that low left crease attacker, someone that can feed, someone that can dodge. It just elevates your offense. And when the ball hits her, people can cut when we're predominantly right-handed. So it just opens up opportunity for our offense, and she's done a great job. We were waiting for her to really, bring that spark to the field, and that game, I can't even remember, it was a couple games ago, she had 3 or 4 goals. That was the Allie we were waiting for. So yeah, she's so dynamic, incredible, on the feeding game, and can put the ball in the back of the net as well. So really proud of her, and and then obviously Lindsay and net has been awesome as well.
And those 4 goals against Yale, right? A couple of games ago. So we talk about tougher teams, and we mentioned the Rutgers game against the number 9 team in the country. You get out to the 5-0 lead, but you knew the tougher team was going to win. You had that lead, help buffer you guys to the end. So against Lehigh, you get down 7-1. So the tougher team's going to win that game as well, right?
You know it. Little old Army comes on and marching back. No, that wasn't fun as a coach. Going down 7-1.
What are you saying to your team? You're loose, right? But what are you?
I'm loose, but I'm also not loose in the locker room. You haven't seen me in there. No, I obviously I didn't want to get their heads down. I'm like, hey, you got a whole 3 quarters left in the game. Little backstory. I love to tell this story. I was in a semifinal and a Final Four, and I was down 12. What were we down? 7 goals with 12 minutes left. My team never said die, never had a doubt in our mind we were going to win that game. We came back and won it in double overtime. So I just have been a part of a team and a game that's come back and won it. So you got to always believe. So you just got to chip away. I told them, chip away. You got to do little things. We changed up our defense, changed the goalie, started winning draws, and we started putting things together on the offensive end. So like I said, when you make stops and you have draws, you have more opportunity on the offensive end. So we started doing that, came back and won it.
This team number 8 in Army women's lacrosse, and Michelle, you're very conscious of where this program is. We talked about it earlier. Kathleen Sullivan breaking the all-time points record. And that's something you want to see keep happening, I'm sure. But for her to hold that, at least for this year into next year,
of course.
What does that mean for her overall career, and then getting to that point where in year number 8 of this program, she's the all-time leading scorer?
Yeah, it's awesome. When you have someone that can feed and dodge and score, it's so dynamic. And kudos to Sully for breaking an incredible player in Caroline Raymond's record, and Caroline doing that to Jackie Bratton. No, I'm just so proud of her. We're obviously we are really hard on her because we expect the best from her, and she's able to deliver each time. So really proud of her. It's awesome, and she knows someone's coming for her right behind her. It's awesome. Records are meant to be broken, and it's fun to see the program continuing to get better and records be broken. So proud of her.
Julia Franzoni, she's the facilitator, right? She's the face-off specialist. Is there an attitude that goes with that?
Yeah.
Or what is the attitude?
Yeah, she's focus, drive, passion, someone that just is like do it all kind of kid. That player might not come up in the stat sheet as much as a Bridget Duffy, Kathleen Sullivan, but she is the glue to our team. She's an incredible person, teammate, friend, and she's going to be an incredible second lieutenant. I'll tell you that, because of her passion inside that draw circle. She's a big reason why we were 12-2, and she's a big reason why we've done what we've been able to do. And she's the first person to admit, like, yep, I could have been better. So just so proud of her. I love her. Incredible teammate, and we're going to miss her a lot after the season.
So focusing in on a lot of your players, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention those 4 seniors starting on defense. And we talked about the goaltender position and how important that is. Those 4 seniors, veteran, what have they done for you?
Yeah, we have a lot. I think we even have 6 now. Okay. We get them all in
My
there.
math is off.
No, 4 actually start or 5, but then you can get 6 in. They're incredible. They've done a lot for this program. Even like people like Paige Lennon, who's just now getting some time, someone that just continues to grind every single day. Evelyn Pickett has been awesome. Parker, amazing. Just someone that has a energizer bunny, can't stop, won't stop. Sydney's been locked down on that crease defense. Yeah, they're just awesome. Melina Hatton, someone that's going to Harvard for medical school. I mean, holy cow. How do you focus on that? And a starting defender. Yeah, they're just awesome. And obviously Jolie's a midfielder, so she gets in there. And they're just passionate and hardworking. And, I'm really hard on them because there's days that it needs to be better, but they're the first people that say, you're right, coach. So I'm just really proud of them. They're awesome.
Army and Navy women's lacrosse coming up on Saturday, 2:30 here at Michie Stadium. And we talked about the connection with the fans a little earlier. How about game atmosphere? And the fan engagement department has done a lot of work with Army women's lacrosse. What do you have to say to the fans? What are you looking for? What type of atmosphere does Michelle Tumolo
Do you want to know what I want to know?
Saturday? I really want to know.
Let's effing go. No, just kidding. No, I'm so excited. Nothing better than a Michie Stadium game day. I know Coach A just had an amazing game against Cornell, and atmosphere makes everything. I can't wait to see the little kids, girls in high school cheering for our Army team. That's what it's all about, right? And I hope that one day, if someone's in that stands hoping to be an Army lacrosse player, that they see themselves running around beating Navy. But I just can't wait. Obviously the flyover, the jump team, color guard, just the salute, and just watching our team with the national anthem gives me chills every single day. I'll never take it for granted. But fans, we need you. Cheer loud. Wear white T-shirts. White out. Let's go. I just kind of made that a thing. But
white out.
now
okay,
you know.
You're
getting free T-shirts also too. So let's go. Right, Tim Batista's looking at me.
Yeah, there is and Tim's here. Oh, I saw a design on the shirt, actually.
Yeah.
So we got
exciting.
So what's the hat on Saturday? I got to get the important questions here before we say goodbye.
The important questions. The hat is, we'll see. It's a game time decision.
So that'll be a game time.
Because my superstitions have kind of gone out the window.
But that's going to be special to the Navy game.
Yes. Yes.
Take a look. Games on ESPN Plus. If you can't.
He's going to try to steal my hat. You're going to try to steal my hat after the game.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it autographed on my desk maybe on Monday. I mean, I'm not going to.
Of course.
Lie. I mean, that would be a nice gift. So, okay, 2:30 Saturday.
2:30.
Tickets on sale. 877-TIX Army. GoArmyWestPoint.com. And Michelle, always great to spend time with you. The energy, the excitement, the charisma you've brought to this program. It's going to be special on Saturday, and we all can't wait here in the West Point community for this game.
Same. I can't wait to see everyone out there. I want to say good luck to the men's team as well. Let's get 2 stars this weekend.
Michelle Tumolo, the Noto family, head women's lacrosse coach here at Army West Point. Army and Navy women's lacrosse, Saturday afternoon, 2:30, right here at Michie Stadium. When we come back on our Army West Point Lacrosse Coaches Show, we will catch up with Army men's coach Joe Alberici and his team's matchup against Navy coming up on the road on Saturday night. We'll be back in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network.
As Army bring it back quickly and score again, it is Myrick. A backhand score! Bryant looks to hammer her way through. Still has it. Score! Look who it is. Watch out. Watch out. Score! Franzoni hammers and scores! Duffy moves in. Hammer scores!
pass out top to Glessner. 3 seconds to go. In regulation, last shot, score! Army pours out onto the field just after the face-off, and the Orange suffer their first loss of 2017.
Sims with some room. Sims uses his size, muscles in, shoots, scores! David Sims scores the game-winning goal. Army defeats Notre Dame. How about that Army team? Nick Turn spinning inside. The goal counts for Brendan Nick Turn. Nick Turn to Abshire, a quick stick and a Sports Center top 10.
As it is official now, the final Army 17, Cornell 10, and for Army,
We talked about they dominated from start to finish. Three, two, one, and that is it. Army comes up with a massive upset victory over Rutgers early in the season. What a game we had here.
The Black Knights pull off another victory against a ranked team. What a tremendous effort by the Cadets. Hey, how about that, Army? Let's go!
Remember what you're playing for. You're playing for yourself and all that you've invested in it. Not just this year, but for all time. Playing for the guys in this circle and the guys who can't be in this circle right now. And all that they've invested.
These Army players, no surprise, fearless.
Playing for your school and all the good it stands for. You're playing for what's on the front of your chest.
Jacob Moore, big time range, lefty laser.
And Army right now, defensively, they're really dominating.
He'll shoot and score!
Too big, too strong, too good.
Know the Army Lacrosse family is watching right now, fellas. Let's go get it done as a family.
Rich DeMarco back on the FEN balcony overlooking Mikey Stadium here at West Point, New York. Part number 2 of our Army West Point Lacrosse Coaches Show as we get set for Army and Navy women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse coming up on Saturday. We were joined by the Noto family head coach for Army women's lacrosse, Michelle Tumolo. Now time to spend some time with Army men's lacrosse coach and good friend to us here, Joe Alberici. First off, tough act to follow.
No doubt about it. Michelle's the best in the business at everything she does. So really excited for their success so far this season and continued success this weekend.
Your excitement, you mentioned excited, your excitement for Saturday night on the road, Annapolis against Navy.
Yeah, it should be a great atmosphere down there. 7 o'clock game will be a little bit different, a little unique for us, but we're definitely excited to be part of it and another one of those great matchups between two very talented teams.
Joe, first off, you guys have been in the top 10 essentially this entire year, and after last year, was it a bit of a surprise, the success and how you guys came on this year after what you lost and some young players in some spots?
Well, listen, you know, the expectations in this program every year are to compete for championships. That's in the Patriot League and at the national level. There was nothing different about this. We knew there was going to be a lot of different names and faces in doing that, and then we got hit hard with injuries early on and lost some key players. But this team has continued to persevere, and it is something that's very special to see, and hopefully will continue here in the late season.
9-2 on the season, first team to clinch a spot in the Patriot League tournament. That's got to be important things to mark on the wall, knowing that you're going to be playing there. And now the goal, obviously, to win the regular season title. And you look at the season opener, a setback to UMass, then a dramatic game in the end against the top 5 opponent in Cornell. How is your team consistently? What's been the key to that consistency all year?
We've just tried to get better every week, and you know, I know that's stated. That's what most teams are trying to do, but this team has really embraced that, and our focus each and every week has been on ourselves and just getting better and the improvements. And because we're so young, Rich, because we have lacked experience. Each and every week, there's been some marked improvement. We've been doing things better and better, and even in this most recent setback here to Cornell, you know, it's not all black or white. There's some gray in there. We played very well. There was some real positives to take away, and then there's some things we know we need to do better.
Knox Dent, right, comes back from an injury, 12 saves. How was that for your team in a matchup like that?
Yeah, terrific. You know, first. Gives you a little idea of the depth that we have in the program. Matt Chess was pressed into duty in the Loyola game, another top 10 matchup. Played the last 20 minutes, was phenomenal in that. Then had a couple of starts against Bucknell and Colgate, and was terrific in leading us to victory in those two. So the decision was made that we were going to go back to Knox once he was cleared by our medical professionals, and you know, he answers the bell with maybe his best game of the year against a very good Cornell team.
You've been here a long time, right? 2006, your first year. So this is what, year number 18, right?
That's
if you
correct,
look
yes.
at 2023. How much have you seen, and this an accomplished program from when you were here as an assistant under Jack Emmer, how have you seen, as the game changed, this program grow with the cadet athletes you're bringing in, you're churning out over your 18 years?
Well, listen, we've got a phenomenal tradition here in the Army men's lacrosse program, having 106 years. This is our 106th season, and I'm constantly reminding our guys of the great people who have gone before them. Not only terrific lacrosse players, but just great men and guys that have gone on to do phenomenal things for this country. You know, that went well beyond what they did here in Michie Stadium. So, you know, each and every year we're just trying to build on that a little bit. And when you see things like the FEN being built in 2017, and now the Michie Stadium project, you know, going to go up, and we're going to be part of that in the stadium. You know, you just see that the importance of lacrosse is continuing to be amplified, and you know, just excited, you know, for what the next decade or two brings.
And you took my question there, was, you know, being here over 18 years, and, you know, Michelle comes in, right, and the FEN is built, and an enormous selling point on her and this Army women's lacrosse program. But from where you've been facilities-wise, and you mentioned it, has lacrosse become almost similar to, as we've seen other intercollegiate sports, where you have recruits, they're looking for facilities, they're looking for the things we usually would associate with football, basketball? It seems like lacrosse has gotten into that realm here the last several years.
Yeah, you know, our greatest selling point is the United States Military Academy. It is hands down the greatest academic institution in the world, and nobody can tell me anything different about that, Rich. But from that, you know, selling the tradition, the 106 years, and then you walk right into your stadium and into a beautiful locker room, and right, it's immediately apparent to, you know, those recruits how important lacrosse is at this institution, and there's a lot of very, very important things that they'll do in their time here at West Point. One of the most impactful things that they'll do is be in that locker room with a great group of men.
No doubt about that. It was interesting. I'm up at Colgate for a men's basketball game a month and a half ago, and someone stops me to talk about the 1957 national championship game between Syracuse and Jim Brown against Army. So it just shows the lacrosse word travels fast, especially when you're talking about Army and you're talking about Syracuse. So Navy, and this a rivalry you've been a part of for so long. How each year does it still able to get you excited, to get you so intense for that matchup?
Well, I'd start with this. It's the most important game of the year for a lot of reasons. One is because it's our next one.
Of course.
But just the tradition that this game holds, the different environment that it brings. We'll play in front of 10,000 people down there, as we did here in Michie Stadium last year. So there's just a whole different atmosphere to it than say a game in February 13th in Michie Stadium, when you're plowing the snow away. So all of that, we look at it as victory everlasting. So you have this opportunity, if you play well, to gain victory, and it's something that will stay with you for a lifetime. It's something that you will let your children know about, and you'll let your children's children know about. And we've had plenty of alums that have come back and can recite, what that game was like 60 years later, and what their experience was, and it just brings chills and actually tears to my eyes, because I know how much it means to the individuals while they're involved in it, and the 18 years of perspective gives me a little bit of insight into what it will mean to them as they go on to be husbands and professionals and military career people.
Let's talk about your season a bit, and we talk with Michelle how big the win over Rutgers was for her program. You had a win over Rutgers, a team which made championship weekend 1 year ago. Is that a moment where maybe it gave you a feel of what kind of team you were working with this year? Was that a moment? When was that moment, I guess, and how much did the Rutgers game really, you feel, put this team, the 2023 team, on the map?
Well, let me start with, I think the biggest feel about the victory over Rutgers was it's your alma mater. So, the fact that we were able to get a little better piece there, buddy.
Tougher team won. Tougher team won.
Right.
Michelle said it.
The most inexperienced team that I've had in my 18 years here. And they've been doing all the right things since August, working their tail off, team building. It's so consistent, and tremendous leadership all the way through. We take a setback over UMass, who's an excellent team, but somebody that we've been fortunate enough to beat 7 years in a row, which is, is a great streak in and of itself. And we took a setback. I think what Rutgers ended up doing for us, Rich, is it gave a little validation to everything that they'd been doing and what we had been talking about, and about that continued improvement to go out there and as you said, be a Final Four team that was returning all kinds of people, and again, for our squad was much of our guys unknown, and to their credit, that was the start of a 9-game winning streak. So they continued to build on it and weren't satisfied with, just having that as a high watermark for the season.
And Joe, I can ask this question. It came to mind, and in lacrosse, really the bottleneck for at-large bids in the NCAA tournament. I know the most important game is the next game, but you've been on the side of being right there, beating a top 10 Notre Dame team, right, and then still being left out. How much pressure does it put on schools, not only Army, Loyola, schools across the country, of knowing that, it's not like, let's say, men's or women's basketball, where if you're at a certain level, no matter what happens in the conference tournament, you're going to be in. There really is that. It's almost like the old NCAA men's basketball tournament, where you had to win the conference to get in. It just doesn't feel. I mean, you have, the ACC is going to absorb a number of bids. How does that play into where 6-0 in league? It's still the next game. It's still the conference tournament. Is it challenging to think like that?
We've got a great understanding of that the route to the NCAA tournament is through our conference. As you stated, we've been there before, having beaten Notre Dame and Syracuse, 2 top 5 teams, and 3 other top 20 wins. There's no other sport in the country where you can have 5 top 20 wins, be 12-4, and not make the tournament.
Exactly.
And, we've had a few situations like that before, but it's our guys understand that. We understand what's in front of us, and the need to play well in the Patriot League is of greatest importance if you want to continue your season.
9 top 10 wins since 2017. It's becoming old hat for you guys, beating these ranked teams.
Well, I can tell you this: winning is hard. is really hard against anybody, and for this group to have done what they've done so far this season, I'm just so excited for them, and it is because of their hard work. It's because of their leadership. I want to share this story with you. It just hit me as I was walking on here. This past Sunday, we were helping out a youth group in town, and I had mentioned to the captains that I needed a few guys to go ahead and go along with me out there and spend an hour. And I show up on Sunday, and who are the 5 guys? It's 3 captains and 2 seniors, and it really has been how these guys have gone about their business. They've led from the front, from the very beginning, and our captains, our seniors, our upperclassmen have never asked the younger guys to do anything that they haven't already done or that they're currently doing. And that's just a small example of it, and it's a reason why they're 9-2 right now, is because of the great leadership that our players have shown. The investment in team building from the very beginning, from day one, and looking after the younger guys, and to make sure they know and understand our culture and how we want to go about it. You add that with an amazing, phenomenal coaching staff. Kyle Georgalis being here for 12 years, incredible defensive coordinator, what he's doing with the face-off game, and Will Coletti, absolutely outstanding. Justin Ward, been with us for 6 years, and phenomenal offensive coordinator. So very blessed to have both of them. And then Travis Johnson, who spent 7 years as the head coach at NJIT, joining us late in January. So that sort of leadership that we've had amongst the coaches as well as as our players has made my job very easy this year.
And let's hope Will Coletti breaks that career ground ball record on Saturday, 9 away.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I'd like it to happen this Saturday. That would be really good.
So take me back, 2019, the 9-8 win in Annapolis, right? You guys are used to playing well against Navy and playing well down there at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, exciting day, all the way through. The game was tight throughout, and we went into overtime, got a great stop at the end of the game to force overtime, and then Matt Manown, who I would consider one of the greatest teammates that ever played here in his junior year, took an invert, went underneath, dove across the front of the cage, stuck the ball up into the upper corner, and then in true Matt fashion, ran to our alums that were in the stands right there, and there's just a big pit, a mosh pit going on in Marine Corps Stadium. That was a special day, and it was really special for a whole group, but it really became very special for 2 groups in particular, because because of COVID, it marked the last time that the juniors had played in that game too. So both the juniors and seniors were able to walk away with a victory in their last time playing them. So very special.
Now for some important questions. So a night game on a Saturday night. We talk a lot about this with Jeff Monk and about the time, how you're going to handle the trip. Does that out of sync at all? Is that something you have to, how do you adjust to it as a team in your schedule?
Yeah, a great question. We scheduled a game earlier this year against Lafayette on a Friday night, and I had this one in mind, the Navy game in mind, where we just wanted to get a little bit of a rhythm playing under the lights. We'll go ahead and practice one day this week, and a little bit later. I feel like this group has really done a great job of just answering the bell wherever it is. We run the gamut in terms of facilities that we play at. We play in some amazing stadiums, and we play in some,
smaller,
not so amazing stadiums, and we're in some different types of locker rooms, and our guys have done a great job of keeping the main thing, and the change in time, I think will add some juice to it and some excitement for our guys, and I'm sure they'll be pretty pumped up to get after it.
You mentioned the 7 o'clock game earlier in the year, of course, at Navy on Saturday night, and then an 8:15 game next. I know you're only worried about the next game, but
you know what? Thanks for reminding me that. I have not thought about that, but you're right. 8:15. I go to bed pretty early,
That's
so
me. I might not make it to halftime.
Yeah, that was. we had actually gone in a similar situation. We had played at Boston at 8 o'clock at night on last year on a Friday night in the regular season, and there was just some between their men's and women's team. That's just the way it broke, and it was funny when it was announced that Coach Ryan Poley, texted me. He was like, "Hey, you getting me back?" And I was like, "Hey, I didn't have anything to do with the scheduling of that one. That was on TV." But yeah, so we'll finish here with a couple night games, and I know our guys will be excited for that venue, that excitement that Under the Lights brings.
6-0 in league, first team to clinch a spot in the Patriot League men's lacrosse tournament. How important would it be controlling your own destiny in terms of the regular season title and hosting the tournament right out here? How important is that motivating factor to your team?
I know this is going to sound like coach speak, but we really haven't, not really. We just haven't talked about it. It has been about the next one, and obviously when the next one's Navy, we haven't gone over any sort of scenarios, and if this happens or if we do this, what when you're 6-0, if you just continue to win, then you will be champs.
Okay, Michelle Tumolo has the lucky hat. What do you have in your satchel for Saturday?
Listen, I might borrow one of. It's not going to be sunny, so I won't need a hat or anything at night. So I won't borrow her lucky hat. But Rich, I could do about 10 shows worth of my little superstitions that I've built up over the years.
Give me like one or two. Come on.
Rich, I couldn't even tell. I mean, like
one.
Well, I run in the morning before the game, and I always run more time than I did the last time for a longer period of time. What I wear is the exact same thing that I wear. I don't know.
Okay, that's
after
good ones.
I wore the same pants, and I'll wear the same pants again, but I wore the same. I didn't wash my pants for 9 weeks because we just kept winning.
That's understandable.
So I don't know. It could. I have a lot of them, and the same socks too. So they're laundered now, which are good. That's a good thing.
Well, it's
I'll be smelling better on the sidelines.
Joe,
smelling better on the sidelines.
18 years and getting to know you over that time. Thank you for all you've done and everything you've brought to this program. The Patriot League championships, NCAA tournament wins, and again, this team, a young team, doing some amazing things this year. And best of luck on Saturday night on the road at Navy.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rich, and I'm excited for our guys, and equally excited for Michelle and her women's program and all that she's done with it. And I know they're going to get the first of two. They're going to get the first of two for us, and we'll have to follow up on their great performance with a great performance of our own.
Joe Alberici, Army men's lacrosse coach, Army men's lacrosse at Navy. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. That game televised on CBS Sports Network. Next Friday, 8:15 p.m. against Boston University, another nationally ranked team. Tickets on sale, 877-TIX Army. Go Army, westpoint.com. Well, that brings us to the close of our annual show. I love doing this. This is the second straight year.
Okay.
Look forward to next year.
I'm looking forward also.
You'll be home next year for Navy. Michelle will be on the road.
That's right.
That's right. It's a lot of fun. So, thanks again.
Absolutely, Joe. Rich. Thank you.
Army women's lacrosse against Navy, 2:30 p.m. right here at Mikey Stadium on Saturday. 877-TIX Army. Go Army. Westpoint.com. Lots of thank yous to pass along. Ryan Panny doing a great job keeping us on the air. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, getting this show going. Connor McCory and Alex Thunderberg, great job as our athletic communications contacts. Getting us Joe Alberici, Michelle Tumolo. And we'd like to thank Noto family head coach of Army women's lacrosse, Michelle Tumolo, Joe Alberici, Army men's lacrosse head coach. Rich DeMarco saying so long from the FEN balcony. A big weekend. Go Army, beat Navy.